Reviewing Life's a Gamble by Rich the Kid. At this point, it's pretty undeniable that Rich the Kid is a legend in hip hop. From coming into the game as a Migos offshoot, to building one of the biggest collectives during SoundCloud with Rich Forever, ushering in famous X and J Critch, as well as being a major player on his own during that time, with records like Plug featuring Kodak and Playboi Carti early, culminating into having gigantic records on his own with Plug Walk and New Freezer. I'm sure most can remember the time when Rich the Kid was featured on damn near every song. Rich the Kid is one of those artists with relentless work ethic and unbelievable networking ability that has helped his longevity and elevated him to a pretty high status in the game. But despite the major success Rich the Kid has had, even recently with a number one record in Carnival, Rich's projects have usually been lacking the cohesion that I think good bodies of work need to have. He's always so single and Billboard's number minded that his projects often do not translate as well as his singles. And on Life's a Gamble, that issue remains, except for in my opinion, I haven't been too fond of the singles at all. The intro is just weird to me off top. An empty beat with little to nothing to the instrumental apart from some sparse horns and 808s, and nothing in the lyrics or flow, was just boring to me. The single Give Me a Second is the first record on the album after the intro, and is a record I cannot really mess with since it came out. It's not terrible per se, but I just cannot understand a Peso Pluma and Rich the Kid single. It seems like something a record executive pitched based on analytics as opposed to an actually dope musical collab. Not in the Mood is cool. Rich the Kid and Offset, of course, has some pretty good chemistry over a nice vocal sample that's hard not to like. New Chanel Freestyle and Louis Coat are forgettable. Upside Down is okay to me as a fan of French Montana, and then Back Then was okay with the Mike Jones sample. Bandman is another single I did not connect with or listen to since its release until the album came out. I'm pretty harsh on Rich the Kid's singles, as to me it's his strong suit, and the ones that preceded this album just did not land. But after Bandman comes likely the best record on the album, like Yoga featuring Bia. This is one that could be something. This song just felt like a Rich the Kid smash, with a trendy feature that stood out as a track that should have been a single over Give Me a Second or Bandman. Give Me a Second too sounded like a half-hearted attempt to create a track with the gravitas and theatrical feel of Carnival that also falls flat. Then the last song that I felt had any real merit was Keep It Exclusive featuring Quavo. At least Rich the Kid has the ability to be consistent with his Migo brothers, but not in many other areas. Most of the songs where skips are forgettable in my opinion. I also really have to mention how terrible I think Sometimes is. That song to me has solidified the fact that I never want to hear Rich the Kid sing in any way, even with the strongest autotune, or rap about anything that is not swag, 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 flex, flex, flex. Please just stay in your lane. Overall, I felt that Life's a Gamble was a jumble with little to no direction. Even from the cover art, it just feels random. The title of the album is Life's a Gamble, but the main cover art is Rich the Kid sitting in some type of motel room with a suitcase filled with $1,000. Like, how is the cover not some kind of casino something? It's just weird. I guess the back album has a couple cards on it, but it still just doesn't make sense to me. Overall, the album is just a mess of mid, with Like Yoga being one of the only, if not the only, real redeeming quality. Scoring Rich the Kid's Life's a Gamble 4.1 out of 10. Very weak.